Hello and welcome to this week's video summary of the news, brought to you by Estate Agent Today and Letting Agent Today. We start this week with a report from the National Association of Estate Agents, which released its monthly housing market report on Monday. The organisation reports that housing supply increased by 25% in July to 55 available properties per estate agency branch. This is the highest level of stock recorded by the NAEA since September 2013. When it comes to demand, the agency body says the number of prospective buyers is continuing to increase and now stands at an 11-year high. NAEA Managing Director Mark Hayward says that until we see more physical bricks and mortar, there may be no hope of solving the nation's housing crisis. Earlier in the week, however, we carried a story which painted a slightly different picture. The government has released figures which suggest that more new homes are in fact being delivered. It says that there were over 131,000 house building completions in the past year, which represents a 15% increase on the previous 12 months and is the highest annual total recorded since 2009. However, in response to these figures, controversial housing charity Shelter has published a report which criticises one of the government's key housing policies, the Starter Home Scheme. The scheme intends to provide 200,000 cut-price new homes for first-time buyers aged under 40 by 2020. But Shelter says that due to exceptionally high house prices, it will only help those already earning the highest wages. In agency news, online operator House Simple has had to amend the wording of one of its adverts after the Advertising Standards Authority received a complaint that it was misleading. The ad in question, which appeared on public transport in the capital, claimed that sellers could save over £15,000 by using House Simple instead of rival agency Foxtons. The ASA approached House Simple and the online agency amended the advert to make sure that the new wording would make clearer the basis of the savings claim. The agency's CEO, Alex Gosling, told Estate Agent Today that the incident would not affect how his firm structures future advertising campaigns and that it will continue to compare its fees against Foxtons. Elsewhere this week, a local council has thrown down the gauntlet to its letting agent and landlord community. York Council says it is seeking the introduction of fixed penalty notices for agents and landlords in the city who are found to be deliberately flouting the law. The council says it will fine any agent that does not belong to one of the 3 government-approved redress schemes or does not disclose details of its fees, in line with legislation introduced in May. One of the city's councillors, David Carr, says the council will be policing landlords and agents because it wants to make sure that the area's most vulnerable households get a fair deal. Meanwhile, north of the border, the Scottish Government launched a consultation period for its proposed code of practice for letting agents. The code will include a mandatory register for letting agents with an associated fit and proper person test, as well as a training requirement that must be met before an agent can be admitted to the register. The government is inviting written responses to the consultation, which will close on November the 15th. Back in England, the Association of Residential Letting Agents announced that it has joined forces with the Gas Safe Register to provide improved safety messages aimed at landlords and tenants. The move comes ahead of new rules regarding carbon monoxide alarms and smoke detectors being introduced in the autumn, and ALA Managing Director David Cox says that agents and landlords must make sure maintenance and annual gas safety checks are carried out by a Gas Safe registered engineer. We've finished this week with the news that one of London's agencies, Sterling De Vere's top sales managers, has been rewarded with a Maserati. That's right, Mujib Ali, who recently picked up 5 All Agents Awards, has been handed the keys to a Maserati Ghibli 2015 to use as his company car. The car is thought to be worth around £90,000. We just hope that it helps drive the firm onto further success. That's it for this week. Remember to keep in touch with news from the industry every day on Estate Agent Today and Letting Agent Today. We'll be back next week with another video summary. Until then, see you next time.